As a real estate investor, I look at the market every day. I want to see what houses are buying for, what houses are selling for, because I want to know how to get good deals. One of the things that I've noticed as I've been looking at these houses is that a lot of prices have been coming down in certain markets over the last several months. And some of these houses that they've put on the market, they were bought between the years of 2019 and 2022, or they were refinanced during that same period. So they have really low interest rates, and they're trying to sell these houses at market value, but there's a lot of people that today can't afford these houses. They can't afford to pay what it costs now with the interest rates so high. So the sellers are kind of forced to lower the prices if they want to sell the house. However, I think that they're lowering the prices because they don't understand a couple of things that could help make them a lot of money. So there's something called subject to. Subject to is basically what it means is that I'm trying to sell a house, but I'm going to keep the financing in place. So I'm going to sell it subject to the existing financing. So if they understood this concept or what a wrap mortgage is, then they could sell the house without needing to drop the price. So this is the idea. Let's say I have a house that I either bought or refinanced between 2019 and 2022. And I have an interest rate on the house of maybe 4% or even lower. And so I'm paying maybe, maybe $2,000 to $2,200 a month on my monthly payments for the house. And I want to sell the house, maybe it's worth maybe $500,000, right? And when I bought it, I had to put in, let's say I put in $100,000, and so my mortgage is at $400,000. Now, somebody wants to buy that same house, and let's say it's increased in value to maybe $600,000. They want to buy that same house, but that house now has a payment of much higher. Maybe rather than $2,000, it's maybe $3,500, maybe even $4,000 a month, because they're going to be buying it at 6%, and the interest rate that they're getting is like maybe 6.5% or 7%. So that makes it very, very difficult to be able to afford that house, and they're having a hard time qualifying for bank financing. So rather than doing that, this is the idea. What if I were to sell my house subject to the existing financing? So I have a $400,000 mortgage, and so rather than dropping my price from $600 down to $580, down to $560, $550, trying to sell the house, what if I kept it at $600, but now rather than just selling the house the way normally people do, I sell it subject to the existing financing. So I keep that loan in place, that loan that's at 4%, and somebody comes in and they can pay out my $200,000 equity, and then we just keep that loan in place. So now they have a much lower payment. So that's an option. Or what if this person doesn't have $200,000 and they were just planning on bringing in $100,000? Well, I can do that too, and what I would do is called a wrap mortgage, where I go and I create a mortgage on the property for $500,000. They bring in $100,000, they pay me out, or they pay me out $100,000 of my $200,000 in equity, and then what they can do is they're starting to make payments per month, and I may be able to create a mortgage at maybe 5%, so a little bit higher than what I'm paying. If I'm paying 4%, they're paying me 5%. It's still really great for them to be able to do this because they don't have to go through the bank qualifying process, which is very difficult, and I can get $100,000 out of my of equity out of the property, and I now have what's called lending arbitrage, where I have money that I'm paying 4% on, and they're paying me 5%. So that is another source of revenue for me, and it works out well for them because they're getting a property for much less than what they would normally need to pay per month. So this is just a little bit of creative financing for anybody that wants to learn how can I sell my home that I have a really low interest rate on and lower the cost to the buyer to increase the demand for my specific home. So just wanted to give you that little nugget. And if you've ever done a creative finance deal, whether it's a wrap mortgage or a subject to, then go ahead and leave a comment below so I can kind of hear what you've done and tell the story a little bit. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and good luck investing in real estate.